Hello everyone, welcome to the solution of LeetCode problem 200 named number of islands. In this problem, we are given a m by n 2D binary grid which represents a map of land and water. Here land represents by 1 and water represents by 0. And we have to return the number of island presented in this 2D grid. So here an island is surrounded by water and is formed by connecting adjacent land horizontally or vertically. And you may assume all four edges of the grid are all surrounded by water. So here, this is the problem statement. I hope you understand it. Now let's move on to the algorithm. In this problem, to understand the algorithm, we have taken this example. Here, the number of rows is 4 and the number of column is 5. So here, for the first row, this is land, this is land, this is water, and this is water, and so on. So at first, let's see how many island we can get. Here, the basic intuition is a cell can be connected by its 4 of the adjacent cell. That means it can connect it either left, right, up and down. So here we can consider this can be one of the island. Here all of the element is 1. This can be one of the island. Here all of the element is also 1. This can be another island and this is another island. So here we can see that there are in total 4 islands. But the question is, how can we solve this problem? We can basically solve this problem by using the DFS in two-dimensional grid method. Here we will run 2 for loops, one outer loop and one inner loop or nested loop. And for each of the cell, if the current element is 1, that means current element is land, we have to call a DFS function. So here, suppose for this first cell, it is 1. So we have to call a DFS function. From here, we will make this 0 and we will move to its left, right, up and down. So here up and left will become out of bound. So we will move to the right and down. So for the right node, we will make it 0. And for this down node, we will make it 0. But we cannot proceed further because this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, and this is 0, which is surrounded by the water. So we can say that this is one island. Now our current iteration suppose is this node, which is not equal to 1. For this node, it is not equal to 1. But for this node, it is equal to 1. So we will make this 0 and we will go to the downside, right side, up side, or left side. So here we cannot go right and up, but we can go down and left. But in the left side, there will be 0, so we cannot go there. And from 1, we will go to its left side, down side, right side, or up side. So here we can see that from this 1, we will make it 0, and for this 1, we will make it 0. And from this 1, we cannot move any of the 4 direction because all of them are surrounded by 0. So this is another island. Okay. Now we are at this node, which is now 0, and all of the node in the second row marked as 0. So we cannot start DFS here. Now we are at this node 0, which is the third row, which is 0, and we cannot start DFS. But for this node 1, we can start DFS and we can go down, left, and left, and make all of the 4 node equal to 0. So here, this is another island. Now, for this node, we cannot start the DFS because it is water. Similarly, for this node and for this 4 node, all of them equal to 0, we cannot start the DFS. But finally, we are at this node where it is 1. That means we can start one DFS here. But unfortunately, we cannot go any of the 4 direction because its right side and downside is out of bound and its left side and upside is surrounded by the water, which is the cell 0. So we cannot go there. So this is another island. So in total, we have found there are 4 islands, and this is how basically we're gonna solve this problem by using the DFS in a 2-directional grid. I hope you understood the algorithm. Now let's move on to the code. In this problem, the code is pretty simple. At first, we are given a function named num_islands, which has a 2-dimensional vector as a parameter, and we are calculating the row as n, and the column size will be m. And for each of the ij in row and column, if the current element is 1, we are incrementing the answer and recursively call a DFS function with the given 2-dimensional matrix A and the corresponding index I and j. And in the DFS function, if I less than 0 or j less than 0, or I greater than equal to n, or j greater than equal to m, or a of ij is equal to 0, in all of these cases, we should return. Otherwise, we have to assign 0 the respective cell and recursively call the DFS function in 4 of its direction, which is I, j plus 1, I, j minus 1, I plus 1j, and I minus 1j. Finally, we have to return the answer, which is the number of DFS call we can make in this 2-dimensional grid. I hope you understood the code. Thank you everyone for watching the video. We will get back soon with another LeetCode solution.